think that point made sense. Okay. So we'll look into this now in terms of Gaga's ball, and they're now playing a Feather, I believe, is now in for New York. Sorry, I was talking more so ball tracers constant and you're swapping the Sombra and the Pharah around. I think Chengdu is one of the only teams to run Pharah Sombra variation. I'm gonna be honest, I like Sombra, Pharah Sombra variation a lot because like it can enable your Pharah like a lot more because of the hacks and because of the EMPs. But I can agree that like Tracer will make it a lot easier overall. But that makes a lot more sense what you're saying, like changing around the Sombra and the Pharah comparatively to the Tracer and Sombra. So, okay, fair enough. Makes sense, makes sense. Alright, so they scout out the comp. We have Gaga just scouting towards the coast side here to see if anyone's going to go coast. If there's going to be a Sombra or a Tracer, he sees Sombra, he just instantly destroys the Translocator. He thought maybe he could get a boop on that Sombra too. Now he's going to hold there again, see if anyone tries to go for this flank. He doesn't see anyone going for the flank. He has his Sombra holding main to see where people are. He also has his D.Va holding main to see where people are. They know ball has come in now, and now all Gaga is doing is Gaga is playing this right side to control the right side, and he's trying to just get information at this point as well. He hasn't heard anyone coast, he hasn't seen anyone. Now that he knows that they're going main, he tries to boop them before they get through that pathway. They're unable to get the boop down, so now he needs to kind of take this extra space that New York has left. Again, he's booping, he goes for a slam because he has full shields. Do I think he needed to go for full shields there? I don't think so. I think he should have waited a little bit longer so he could stay in that or escape a little bit. But he's using the shields early so that he can have a shield rotation back up before they come in. Right? His team is trying to control that top right. They control the top right. They're trying to make sure that it makes it really hard for New York. Goes for a slam right at the doorway. And now he's going very aggressive because he sees that someone is split up here. Rolls through instead of shooting. Now he sees that the Brig is isolated. Now he's trying to pressure the Brig. Brig is should die from this situation. And from here, Gaga is now going to look to just play his life, get a little bit more HP. Then you're going to see that he has shields up, he has grapple. Instead of going for maybe more HP, no, he is going to go for more HP. He's now going to potentially look to go pressure the point. He has shields, he has slam, he has grapple. I expect him to just go for a slam into a shield and then grapple away. Interesting. I don't know why he did that. I don't think he hit anyone with that slam either. That's just a really weird choice. Aw, Flora wasn't able, or Flora Feather wasn't able to take that. They nano Gaga so Gaga can kind of go in and play forward instead of having to go for packs. He mines point so that he can slow down the tempo a little bit more. And now it's just all about kind of finishing off kills if he can or restabilizing. Again, you're seeing him consistently go around with his shield and with his grapple, just running in, running out. They've now restabilized here. He's been playing the pack game really, really well. Consistently not relying on his supports. He's consistently relying on the packs from his team. They have pretty much juggled that down to 45 seconds, all because not just himself, but his team has been doing a really good job of just like surviving and juggling aggression. Do I think he kind of messed up like one rotation? I do. I think when he went for the re-engagement, he really messed up. I don't know why he went for grapple into a slam there. I think he should have just gone for either a jump slam and then shield then grapple, or again like done something else to min-max it better. But the general thought is still there. He started with the slam, then he used the grapple, or he started with the grapple and then he went for the slam, then he walked away with the shields. They decided to go for a super fast aggression there. EMP into slam, like Chengdu looked quite good. They're able to get 2 kills. That's all they really need. They don't need to get really anything else. They decide to switch off Jinmu to Genji. Do I think Tracer is better? I do. But I think that the reason that they have Jinmu on Genji specifically is that's probably more of a comfort for Jinmu compared to Tracer. So that's why they're kind of going for this. But this will now indicate for Hunters to go much more of a faster dynamic. And you see based off of their setup, like that's what they're going for. Gaga is setting up close to this corner to scout out. If someone comes close, he'll go really, really fast with Leave and Jinmu to try to burst something. Okay, he sees that there's 3 people up top, so he instantly gives up his position. He's kind of marking and kind of still wants to play for this very close aggression, right? So he retakes the spot right after they kind of give it up. Now he's going to go for a slam here as they rotate. Again, you see that he's shielding immediately after because he hears the rally go down. McCree's right in his face too, so he doesn't want to kind of go down from a nanoed McCree and rallying Brig. He goes in for the slam, he shields, he immediately gets out, he has a grapple again. He's just shooting, and now he's going to go for a displacement with his grapple, I'm pretty sure. Ready? They're rotating towards point side. You see mines there. He's getting ready now instead to go for a slam potential play. Slam into mines. Or mines into slam. He goes for the mines into slam because his slam cooldown's back up. Grapple is up as well. He's just going to displace the Brig. Try to keep his man alive that was sleeping. Leaves able to get out for free. And he did his job. He was able to kind of slow down the tempo. He was able to delay point. He was able to slow it down to a point where now the respawns are in Hunter's favor and Hunters are able to kind of trade these kills out. As long as they keep trading, they will win. So Gaga did a great job of like kind of waiting for specific cooldowns. He didn't rush anything. He didn't go for anything. Even though he didn't go for that grapple play towards the end there when he was closer towards main entrance, the choke, he decides not to, and he decides to kind of slow it down, wait for the slam instead, because he feels like the mines will be a better play and slam will be a better play compared to just rolling through them, which is smart. That's a good play. His slam was up in 3 seconds, so it's smart to go for that instead of going for a roll through and waiting another 5 seconds to go for a slam play there. Okay. Now they have Monkey Zarya, so they have like a double bubble composition here. Just no stationary backliner to assist that Zarya. But overall, like this looks fine. Again, they want to go for aggressive plays. They have a Genji. They need to burst them as they either come out or as they try to go through a choke. He goes for a great slam opportunity as they're walking up to go towards top. And they make it look really easy with that Nano Blade. Or not even Nano Blade, it was just a dry blade. That looked really nice. Again, this goes back to what kind of Pyro was saying about changing tempo. Like, how does it change, like, based off of what we're seeing? And now we're seeing that they're not playing something like Sombra or, yeah, I think, or it was Pharah Hanzo and then like Pharah Tracer or Pharah Sombra, sorry. So like you're seeing now like how changing just a Genji. So going from a I'll pause. Going from a overtime kind of character to a more bursty character, the style has changed now from Gaga. He's not focusing on surviving anymore. He's not focusing on longevity. He's focusing on getting the best possible engagement, burst engage he can. Now he doesn't care if he dies as long as his character that's potentially going for this burst damage is getting the value, which is Jinmu, right? And then if Jinmu dies or they have the kills, you see that he's changing up his tempo from, yeah, now I'm just gonna, like, it doesn't matter, like, I just want to get this burst down to, okay, like, now I kind of play my life and I play longevity and I keep playing to kind of get them annoyed or be, like, a pain in their butt by continuously rolling into them and displacing. Because then he knows that his team should be able to just win based off of number advantage, right? So we see here now that Jinmu used the blade, they have the Pharah. I like to pick the Pharah. They have no real counter to this Pharah aside from Jonak on Ana. Only issue I have is they gave up a lot of space doing this. So now you should see Gaga change his style now. Gaga should go back to that just a nuisance, like consistently just like rolling through and not fully engaging unless they have huge picks. You're seeing that he goes for the slam there because they got 2 kills instantly, so he's just able to go for that kind of aggression. But he first starts that off with just displacing them with a boop there when he's on high speed. Interesting. So they have the EMP, so they're looking to go for a burst EMP play. You see Leave is set up. They do a great job of clearing Gaga on the right-hand side, so they might have to change up their play to go as they're going through the choke comparatively at top. Wow, that's a ballsy EMP. But I guess since they're in a room, all 5 of them, it works with a Nano Jinmu because Jinmu gets a crap ton of splash damage and he's able to get a lot of value. So again, Gaga isn't going for first tempo there, he's going for the second tempo. And then from there, like he's fully committing because no one has resources. He kind of spaces out his shield when he goes in because he knows that he's able to survive. Because, hey, guess what? They're all EMP'd. I'm not going to get a lot of abilities used on me. And now again, they have another burst ult potential in that barrage. So he can look to go for an aggressive play if Jimmy would like to go for something aggressive. It looks like they're posturing for an aggressive either bomb or they're posturing for an aggressive barrage. But let's see what ends up happening. Alright, instead, okay, Gaga gets like insta-hacked, but he's getting like double pocketed the whole time. Instead of going for a fast play, they decide to just play the point. Now they just play space. Gaga should be looking to go in soon, potentially with the mines in main or up top. Instead he goes for mines on point, and he's just looking to zone off Friday from being able to kind of touch the point and get the value from his Inspire and Rally. So instead of going for a burst play there and trying to get a very fast play, they play a little bit more that, hey, we have the point, like we don't have to do anything, they have to touch point. Let's let them come to us, we have a lot of good ults to be able to play. And Gaga is playing more so for spy checking and clearing. Yo, what's up? What's up, Effort? How you doing, man? Hopefully you're doing well, dude. Hopefully you're doing well. The rollout was clean. Honestly, Gaga's rollouts with these bursts, like these bursts kind of things, are like super clean. Like I'm enjoying watching it a ton, to be honest with you. It's like so cool to see. And I believe that they play ball here as well, and it's just like not even close. Like I'm pretty certain that Chengdu just get a lot done. At 4 minutes, like they should cap one of these points really fast, I think. Alright. So New York is going for like a traditional kind of dive composition with a brig comparatively to a ball now. Seems like they aren't happy with the value they're getting with ball and feel like Winston will be much more valuable with a diva. Ah, hunters are going for a mirror. The only difference here is, oh no, never mind. They're going for a little bit of a different comp. Same premise for dive, but a much more kind of well-versed kind of dive from hunters. They have ball there to increase tempo and like be able to survive long periods of time without any real help. They have monk for more damage and potentially keeping the flankers alive, and they have Zarya for the long-term damage so that they can win these fights if they end up going longer. They also have bubble in order to enable, so this is really interesting. Do I agree with this comp? No, this seems kind of all over the place, but I'll humor it and I'll see kind of how it goes. I think D.Va is just better, to be honest with you. Alright. Gaga's trying to be a little bit more aggressive now because he has bubble. He knows that he can kind of space out cooldowns a little bit more or go for more aggression without getting instantly capitalized on. So he goes for a very aggressive slam there. They're all kind of stuck. Right when he gets antied, he gets bubbled. He's tried to space out like that bubble with regard to his shield as well. And now it's just a cleanup because, again, you have Late Young, and if I had to guess, he's high charge, like 45. He was decent charge, and Monk has survived, and he has very good aggressive space. This does not look good. A lot of ults up for the front line here. The only way that they slow this down is Yakpunk has to get a lot of value with his cleave for nano, and Flora has to either get a pick with his pulse or one of the two has to happen. We'll see what happens here. Alright, they're just kind of waiting for their ults here. They're not trying to do anything aggressive. Just because they have EMP up soon, they have a pulse, they have like a lot of ults online. So they're playing really passive. I expect Gaga to be the main engage. He's probably going to go towards the back right side, if I had to guess. And he's going to get bubble from Late Young so he can kind of stay there for free. He's ready? He rolls. He's shooting Monkey. He actually grapples to the corner of point instead of going really aggressive here. Interesting. So it looks like his plan was to try to capitalize more so onto Yakpong. But it looks like... Wow, okay, what? Okay, I need to relook at this fight after because I think it's my lack of sleep that's getting to me, but that's just super wonky what I just saw. Is Yakpong gonna die here? Gaga is living for a long period of time on that point. I was gonna say there's no way Chengdu win that. So there's that one fight that they lost, is that one right there. And the reason it took so long was because they were waiting for ults. So instead of going for something aggressive, I assume because they're like, we only need a tick and a half, all we need to do is pressure point. So instead of going for an aggressive thing onto Ana or like the Brig, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the corner here, and I'm gonna look to pressure out Monkey, and eventually they're gonna have to deal with me on point because I have point control. So they're using also Gaga as bait for EMP. Yakpong jumps to the backline during this time. Gaga looks to go towards the back, LOS in case, or see where Ana is, potentially LOS, any damage he might be taking. He goes to hit Monkey in a corner, mines into shields. The pulse lands onto, as that's happening, like you have pressure from Flora coming onto Gaga. Like the backline is kind of looking at Gaga as well to make sure he doesn't go for a grapple onto the back. And then from there, it seems as if, I don't know, I feel like with that last grapple on Monkey, he tried to kind of like go more towards his team, but he just failed and hit the wall instead. And he decided to commit onto point. So he tries to mine and shield on point. That way he's able to just like create more point pressure and like force them off the point. Reactionary Trank. Gaga's just trying to force out the Sombra. Kills the Sombra. From here, they're just trying to play the point. Try to get some ticks. He's going to try to displace people off point here because he wants to get the ticks here. But they're just not able to get any ticks. Interesting, okay. So I guess with that play, like Gaga was just looking, instead of going to burst somebody, he's looking to just win over time. And just win because they have like they just need a tick and a half. So he's just trying to get that short amount of objective time that he needs. But I'm curious why he just didn't try to burst and then go to the point. It would have just done just the same amount. Regardless, anyways, now they can for sure go for another burst play because Jinmu has EMP, they have grab, they have rally. I start with rally, walk forward, then I look to go for an EMP in the middle of the fight, and my grab should be activated by then. And I just have my bodies go on point so that I can force people to have to come to me. And Yakpong taking a lot of damage. He's going to have to be primal here. EMP goes on, it catches on to 3. Now they have to touch the point. You see that they posture to look to potentially go support Yakpong and touch point. They just instantly die. Interesting. So yeah, Gaga changed his playstyle just so that they could play for the ticks instead of playing mainly for other things. That's kind of weird. Cool to see. Just weird. Based off of how I saw Gaga play overall this season. Ends up going down as they're trying to clean up targets, but overall they win the fight, so it kind of works out in their favor. Oh, he still makes it back because he's just so fast on ball. Mines and rally for like the extra little bit. Wow, that's crazy. Yo, it's Smelly Boy. Yeah, I know, man. It's me, Smelly Boy. Yo, what's up? I'm going on vacation right now. I have an extreme urge to play the deck game right now. It's okay. I think everyone kind of does in a way. I watched your capture breakdown yesterday, and there was some good stuff I can use in my gameplay. Nice. I'm happy to hear there's like some good things that you feel like you can use in your gameplay, man. Like that, nothing makes me more happier than when I hear players say like, I have stuff that I could use from the stuff that you kind of talked about. That I'm happy to hear that, man. Happy to hear. I think the thing that sets Chengdu apart from a lot of the teams on this comp is how tempo the DPS are with on tempo the DPS are with ball. The guy is going forward. It's crazy the consistency they give. How high tempo. I agree. I agree with that as well, Pyro. Like I think that I think how like they're getting a lot of value in this is like how Gaga plays around understanding what his DPS need him to do. So like you're not seeing him force things. You're not seeing him go for stuff when it doesn't make sense. You're not seeing him like play to sacrifice his life when there's no need to. He's always like playing around what his DPS require for him or what his DPS have available for him. So like EMPs online, you're seeing him always go for a burst play almost every single time. That you see them playing Pharah, like when they approach the neutral with Pharah, he's just playing slower unless they have a burst opportunity with an alt most of the time. If not, they're just playing it slower. They're playing more so for just the damage from Pharah over time, and he's just living and just creating a lot of opportunities for Pharah to get that poke and for the team to pull them apart and get the value over time. And when they're playing more so with a Hanzo, it's the same thing, right? He's playing to kind of live, he's playing to get a lot more value, right? And then there's tiny little adjustments from there too, right? With the Tracer, for example, when he was playing with the Tracer and his team didn't have a Tracer, right? I think it was Hanzo Pharah, right? He's playing more so his life and not getting poked out and setting up really early or aggressive because he knows that he'll lose the 1v1 to the Tracer, or he'll lose the 2v1 to a Tracer ball. So he plays more so for other people to take space and plays the cart and then goes aggressive after other people get tempo taken on them or get aggression taken onto them. So I think like they do a great job with ball and utilizing the tempo for sure. I think that's the big thing with these guys. They're always on the same page with how to utilize ball tempo, which is kind of crazy to see. It's really nice. Because if you look at NA, like and how they play it, like utilizing, uh, oh my gosh, Doge, thank you for the host. Appreciate it, man. Um, damn, but now I feel like I have to keep streaming. I was gonna potentially end the stream. Now I feel like I gotta keep doing something. Um,
Hello there.
oh no. I feel like that's supposed to say Bakugan, but I'm not 100% sure. But thank you for the follow, Bakugan. I appreciate it. Hopefully you can learn quite a lot of things with the stream, and I'm assuming you came from Doja Stream, so thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it. Um, yeah, so like overall, like my big thing is I agree. I think tempo is a big reason why Chengdu is doing well. But looking at Gaga again, like how much are you doing? Like again, like you look at the guy is like rarely fully committing every single cooldown or every single action to just one action, right? He's always going 1 to 2 or like specifically looking at this stuff, right? So like I would change this around to like okay, like instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, I would go into a flowchart to explain to you guys and do it like this. So you have this. I'm trying to think of like the best way to kind of do this or like the best position. Best position is like in the middle of my screen, but I have to like erase stuff and I don't really want to erase stuff right now. Okay, I think I just erased this and I erased this and I look to erase you guys. And then I kind of like show you a little flowchart that I would do for ball. And I'll keep these points for now. Whoop, whoop. All right, easy. Okay. So like the flowchart I would do for ball realistically is like this. It starts off with living versus dying. Or like if you want to use like less simple terms and more like technical terms, it's overtime value, right? Versus burst value. Then from there, when you decide based off the composition you're playing and the moments that you're going, where like you can burst somebody down or like, hey, like our comp isn't to burst, our comp is to like play like passively and like play the space and all that stuff. Then you go to the next thing, which is like, that's a terrible color to do. I think we can just do blue. We go to the next section, which is, uh, how much are you doing? And it goes back to these categories, right? If you're playing over time, then you're playing like for 1 to 2 actions almost majority of the time. Unless like, there's a thing like, someone's dead, or like you have a large number advantage, or you have a large HP advantage, like simple things like that, or like, like I have like all the pressure on me, so I have to use a little bit more or do a lot more than 1 to 2 actions, etc., etc. Or if it's like a burst value, like you kind of have to ask yourself, like, okay, like if we're trying to get instant value, do I do all my cooldowns at this point, or do I all in is I guess the best way for me to put it. Because when I'm doing overtime and I'm saying 1 to 2 actions, I'm saying 1 to 2 actions because like you're not doing that over time, right? You're looking to get immediate value, so you should be all inning. And that's not just cooldowns, that's also your life at that point, right? And then that goes into the next part, right? Like which goes into cooldowns and goes into tempo, right? And specifically, I would say tempo is next. When are you going first tempo and when are you going second tempo, right? Like, goes back to this. Like, over time, you're probably going more of a first tempo, if I'm being real, right? But when I'm playing for burst, I'm probably going a second tempo. Why am I going second tempo? Because the value from me, yes, I get a slam. Yes, on top of getting a slam, I'm also able to get a lot of value in terms of, what's the best way I can kind of put it? Trying to think of like the best way to kind of put this. I get a lot of value overall, pretty much from like second tempo. Like, yeah, I want to be a part of the action, and yeah, like I want to set up the play, but you're not specifically setting up the play, right? Like, for example, when you saw them go for barrage or you saw them going for EMP, it was the EMP that started it. It was the barrage that started it, right? Um, any other action started it, and then he followed up with the slam because he wants to make sure that when he goes in, he doesn't get CC'd, he doesn't get hacked. He's able to go in and create an even larger potential for the opportunity to be successful, and then they go for it, right? So I don't know why I said second value. That should be like second tempo. But you, at that point, like you're playing a different tempo game. And then after a second tempo, right? Like this is when I talked about shields and I went into more detail about shields, but this is where cooldowns come in. Like, and this is when things will become like more interlapping, right? Like when am I gonna use slam? Like when do I want to use shields? Um, and the big one out of all of them, and grapple, right? The big one out of all of them that is like between these two kind of sides of playing ball that you're looking to do is you're looking to kind of understand. I would say specifically when you're looking at it, you're looking to pretty much just understand, am I looking to, for shields, if I'm bursting someone, do I need to use my cooldowns instantly so that I can live in that thing and be a part of the action the entire time? Or am I playing more so for kind of first tempo and I'm playing more so to kind of just get in and get out, go for those drive-bys? Do I really need to use my shield right away? Do I just wait until I get less HP taken from me, right? Do I try to get the attention on me as long as humanly possible? And I think that's the big thing that breaks apart like the balls is I just I just made a funny in my head. But I think that's the big thing that separates like ball players from each other is like this specifically is this kind of flowchart. Actually looking at it, I like this flowchart a lot more than I like my points. So I would say honestly like this is more so what I would follow flowchart wise than anything else. Like I think this is actually a really good thing to kind of look at. Like I said, Gaga has a good understanding of reading the tempo, and that's the big thing you have to keep out for with ball is tempo, tempo, tempo. And like I said at the beginning, tempo seems obvious, but it really sometimes is not. And this goes back to the point of living versus dying. And that's why it's at the top there and tempo's at the bottom. Because living versus dying, you need to think about the actions or the situations you're putting yourself in and play around those that your team is trying to favor, right? All right, let us see here. For second tempo on ball, who are you? Oh, well pronounced, nice. I'm glad that I pronounced that right. Who are you looking to take first tempo, EMP or Diva Bomb? I mean, it can be any of them. Like, it can be EMP, it can be Diva Bomb, it can be Barrage, like, it could be a Pulse Bomb, right? Or, like, whatever alt you kind of want to start. It could be Rally, right? I think the big thing is Just you need to make sure that the ult is an ultimate that will be a large enough distraction that it takes their attention. So like you need to, like I brought up barrage, but maybe not barrage as often because like in order for barrage to be successful, like you need the barrage to last over time, right? So starting off with barrage is probably not as smarter as a play. Maybe starting off with EMP is a smarter play because right when you get the EMP, you got the value immediately from it, right? It's the same thing with rally. Like even though rally is an overtime ult, right when you pop the rally, everyone is looking at the rallying break. There is no one not looking at the rallying break because they're scared of what the break is going to do or what she's trying to accomplish with that rally. It's the same thing with a diva bomb. When diva bomb is getting thrown, people aren't thinking to themselves right away like, oh, just do this, do that. Most of the time, people are like, yo, there's a diva bomb coming. Like, what do we do? So then you have to figure out what do you do when the diva bomb is coming. So anything that will take the attention away or become the first priority in people's minds is kind of what you're looking for so that you have that first tempo. Um, well, first tempo with the action that you're doing, second tempo on ball in that regard. Because then, like, getting that slam or getting, like, that potential boop into the ultimate that you're trying to accomplish is a very big thing that you need to look to do, I would say, a lot of the time.